Hello everyone, we are back for another Digimon deck profile. This time we are here for the Lordknightmon, aka Crusadermon deck. It's my first yellow deck. It's a little bit before BT6 come out, and it's supposedly when yellow becomes trash, but that's just what naysayers will say. Yellow will forever have all the power in this game, I feel. So let's start out with first the Digitama. We run with 4 Pikmon and 1 Upamon. And then for the rookies, we run 3 Starmons, 2 Bushiagumon. We're standing at 2 Lucamon for the moment, 3 Renamon, 4 Coatmon. And yeah, that's it for the rookies. I'll get into the strategies and everything towards the end. This is just expediting the card count. So that's all the rookies. Even though Lucamon probably shouldn't be counted as a rookie. It's too buff. It's way too buff. All right, for the champions, we're standing at, for right now, 3 Unimon. It's 3 Ankylomon. This is supposed to be Ankylomon, but until I get another one, this is just kind of like a placeholder. I even kept it in Japanese just to make sure to remind myself to take it out later. But 1 Drachmon. And then we run 4 Gladimon. And yeah, that's it for the champions. Then we're moving on to the ultimates, which is, since this is Lordknightmon deck, we have to have our 4 Knightmon, our 1 Red Rise Greymon, and our 3 Yellow Rise Greymon. And after that, all that's left for Digimon is the Megas. So we're sitting at a solid 4 Lordknightmon, a Mastemon, and a Kentarosamon for right now. And then for the Tamers, we have 2 TK, 2 Tai Kamiya, 3 Tai Kamiya, and 1 Kari. And then to finish up the deck, we run 3 Spiral Masquerades and just 2 Testament. So, what is the overall point for this deck? This deck is a swarm-focused deck, so it's getting as many Digimon on the field as possible, as quickly as possible. So, how is that supposed to happen? So, first and foremost, we need our boss monster, Lordknightmon. Now, Lordknightmon has a very nice skill. So, when it attacks, it allows you to play a yellow level 3 Digimon card or a Digimon with Warrior in its type. So, what does that mean? That means every single rookie that this deck has can be played when Lordknightmon attacks. So, I have Renamon in there since it does have an on-play skill. One of your opponent's Digimon gets security attack -1, so they can't damage your security, but they can still, they get 1 minus security check, so unless they have security attack plus, it's essentially they can attack, but they won't get anything for it. Bushiagumon's good, so if Lordknightmon attacks, Bushiagumon can come out. Since it does have the rush skill, that means it can be able to attack the same turn it's summoned. So if you're just trying to get that last clutch rush, as well, the rush skill implies, it's a good Digimon for that. Coatmon is a good play target because its on-play skill is reveal 5 cards from the top of your deck and add up to 2 yellow Digimon cards with Warrior and or Holy Warrior in this type and add them to your hand. So this adds to the speed of the deck. So this comes out, I can grab either Lordknightmon, Gladimon. Actually, it's easier to show them than just say the names out. So the targets are Gladimon, where are you? Knightmon, of course, Lordknightmon, and finally, Kentarosamon. So these are the only warriors / holy warriors that are currently in this deck, but since I run 4 copies of at least these 2, and this one, what is that, 4, 4, 4, Oh gosh, math. 12, 13. So there's 13 targets in this deck for Coatmon to actually hit on. So it just helps expedite and adding to the searching power, thus fueling the speed, thus fueling the swarm. So that's Coatmon. That's one of the targets. So I think we covered all the rookies outside of course, we can't forget to mention Lucemon. Lucemon, yes, it is buff and it does have a high play cost. However, Lordknightmon doesn't care. It just says if it's a level 3 rookie, it can be played upon attack. So if it attacks, Lucemon can come out. When Lucemon is played from hand, recover one from the top of your deck, and it's just above rookie, 10k DP. So, and I think by BT7, another form of Lucemon is going to come out, so that can later add some more versatility, and it might change this deck structure towards the end. But for right now, it's mostly based on Swarm. Lucemon's just there for heal and buffness. So, another target is Gladimon. Gladimon's good because it allows you to search your security, and that's good for two reasons. One, it allows you to grab a warrior or holy warrior from your security if it's one in there and then recover one. So that lets you know, or lets you get a brief preview of what's in your security and what's possible that might proc, which gives you a little bit more foresight and more strategy for how the game could play out. So that's why Gladimon's there. Knightmon is there just because when he comes out on play, one Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn, so that could nuke a rookie and some champions if they're very weak, or it could make it so that when Lordknightmon attacks, say attacking a strong opponent, something that's, let's just say Omnimon. Omnimon usually rests around 15k DP, so it attacks Omnimon if it's rested. Knightmon will come out, drop his DP down by 4,000, making it 11,000. When Knightmon comes out, Lordknightmon gets 1,000 DP for every other Digimon other than itself. Make sure that's correct. Yep. For every other Digimon other than itself. So then it would be at 12, enough to get rid of Omnimon. So that's why this is a strong play for getting over those buff like level 7 Digimon. So that's why Knightmon's in there. And Kintarosamon is in there just because I haven't decided whether Kintarosamon's better for this deck or Masemon. Kintarosamon is a little bit more defensive. So when Digivolving into it, up to 5 of your opponent's Digimon gain security attack -2. I don't care what deck you're running. It's very, very unlikely that you're going to have multiple Digimon on the field with 3 checks. So when this Digimon Digivolves out in the field, it essentially says all your opponent's Digimon can't attack. I mean, they can attack, but unless they're attacking into already one of your rested Digimon, it won't amount to much of anything. And not only that, when he's deleted, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 11k DP. So it's almost an insta nuke or a 1-for-1 for the most part when you're fighting. And that's why I'm ballparking Kintarosamon. As for Masemon, Masemon's good because you don't even have to attack in order to technically deal damage to your opponent. Because when Digivolving, trash one card from both top players' security stack. And then you can play one purple or yellow Digimon with level 4 or less from your trash without playing as memory cost. Now that's good because we run Lucemon. Now, if Lucemon's in the trash, yeah, I only have 2 of them right now, so that might take some engineering and it might be a late game play. But when Lucemon's in the trash, I can Digivolve into Masemon. Lucemon will come out. After getting rid of one with Masemon's effect, Lucemon will come back in and recover that one that lost. So your opponent would essentially take 1 damage for free, and you didn't even have to attack or risk any of your Digimon running into anything buff or being vulnerable by being rested or suspended. And then you can still attack with that. And then that's kind of 2 security check for the price of 1 Digimon. So that's why I'm still ballparking on rather to run Mastemon or Kintarosamon. I'm going to do a little bit more play testing, figure out which one works best, and then get back to y'all on that. So that's the basic premise on how the Lordknightmon deck is supposed to work. Comes out, attack, Digimon comes out. Next turn, Digimon comes out, move another Digimon out. And where's the other one? We do also run Ankylomon mainly because it has a security effect. So if that Digimon is in the security and it's revealed for the security check, then it comes out, and then that just adds to the swarm. So you kind of can see how this is supposed to be running. The more Digimon that comes out, the buffer Knightmon gets, and the more effects that you can essentially pop off. And that's why I like to run Spiral Masquerade. Spiral Masquerade is a very powerful and very situational option card. So it says for each Digimon you have in play, activate the effect below. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. So this card, if you have a good decent sized field, let's say you have 5 Digimon on the field somehow, and your opponent hasn't been getting rid of them, or they've just been getting deleted by other means. So this means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So you essentially have 15k DP in order to subtract from your opponent's Digimon. So that can either get rid of a good number of low weak attack DP Digimon, or you can get rid of one strong Digimon. That's why I like running Spiral Masquerade. If it's in your hand, it's a good potential. You can set up a little bit more for it and plan for it. But I like it when it's in your hand because you just play out and, okay, get rid of that Digimon, that Digimon. If you're starting to get overwhelmed. And another reason why I like to keep it is because when it pops in security, it's really unpredictable. It sucks when you have no Digimon in the field, but if you have Digimon in the field and y'all kind of stalling each other out, this could be a game-changing card with just this one. If y'all are just waiting, if we're just waiting because there's blocker on both sides of the field, that can instantly change the game around for you. So that's why we run Spiral Masquerade. And the other option card is Testament. Now we run Testament just because, well, we run 3 blockers, but since this deck does focus on swarming, and sometimes we swarm with low-level attack DP monsters that, yeah, we could use to attack into the security, but sometimes we might not have that luxury. Sometimes we have to play defensively. So Testament allows you to select one of your Digimon, and that Digimon will have blocker until the end of the turn. So it allows you to have a little bit more defensive versatility in the deck. And it's a security effect, is trigger, draw 1 card, and then add this card to your hand. So it's a plus either way. I only run 2 of them. Sometimes it plays out well, sometimes it doesn't. But I still like the card. I might change it out for maybe Wavering Blast when it comes out in BT6. But that's still gonna be need some play testing. So that's the 2 option cards I run in this deck. So I do run 3 tamers, 3 different tamers, but multiple copies. I still need to get another copy of TK. TK is really good because it's another one, just like Gladamon. Once on play, you can look at your security, you can gauge what's in there, gauge what might pop when your opponent attacks into it. And then also it's a memory fixer. It's a really good card. I still need to just get maybe one more. 4 is kind of pushing it. I don't really like that. I really want to get more Karis because yellow, well, with Kari at least, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, gain 1 memory. If you have multiple Karis, if you have multiple Karis and TK, you can get essentially up to like 4 DP, and if just TK and Kari on the field, if multiple Karis on the field, it's upwards of 5 to 6, and then you can see how it goes. So it stops your opponent from choking you for memory from making your plays, and also it lets you make a little bit more edgy plays because you have a lot more memory to deal with. And the other tamer I run is Ty, mostly because he's the one I have the most of, and I need a good number of tamers just to use other skills I'll get into in a little bit. But while you have 3 or fewer security cards, and when yellow, you're going to see that with a good number of cards. 3 seems to be like, okay, that's when we flip the switch and when all of our skills start to do some real serious annoying work on the opponent. But While you have 3 or fewer security cards, all your Digimon get plus 1000 DP. And additionally, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0 DP, you may suspend this tamer and gain 1 memory. And that tie works really well with Spiral Masquerade because Spiral Masquerade can pop multiple Digimon or one really buff Digimon. So heal proc and just adds to you gaining a whole bunch of memory and letting you make stronger plays. So that's that. But why do we want all these tamers? That's because we run Rise Greymon and Rise Greymon. Now, these 2 different Greymons have 2 different skills, but effectively, both of these Digimon, upon Digivolution, it's a little bit different for that one, but upon Digivolution for this one, allows you to play any yellow tamer from your hand without paying his memory cost. So, if I Digivolve into Rise Greymon, I can play any of these tamers for free. So that's essentially me using 3 memory to play 6 memories worth of cards. So that's a good plus there. And the reason why we want a whole bunch of tamers, not only just to be able to proc his skill on Digivolving, is because he has the inheritable skill. While you have 3 or more yellow tamers, this Digimon gains security attack plus 1. Of course, we're going to want this to be on Lordknightmon. The more Digimon that comes out, the stronger Lordknightmon is going to get. And then not only that, if it has that inheritable, the more security checks it's going to get on 1 attack. And with Lordknightmon being buffer, the more Digimon you have in play, it's unlikely that your opponent's going to be able to attack into it and get rid of it unless they have a skill like Retaliation or something to that effect. So that's one reason why I like having Rise Greymon in here with all the tamers and Lordknightmon. Just adds a little bit more oomph to the deck. And the other Rise Greymon has a Digiburst skill. See, as you can see, a good number of these Digimon don't have inheritable skills. So it makes sense that I can just Digiburst with. I'm not really losing anything sources wise. So Rise Greymon, I can Digiburst for 2, trash 2 Digimon in the source. And then you may play a red or a yellow tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying his memory cost. So essentially the same thing for Rise Greymon, except you have to Digiburst for it. But his inheritable skills is if you have a tamer in play, regardless if it's yellow, red, blue, who cares, when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP. So again, using Lordknightmon as an example, because it's the boss monster of the deck, if Lordknightmon attacks, already instantly, your opponent loses 2000 DP. So for the sake of just doing math, because we don't know what we're going to be fighting against, your opponent's Digimon is going to lose 2000 DP. So we're just going to say Lordknightmon gains 2000 DP. That's not really what happens, but in the math plays out the same. You gain 3000. You gain 2000. Another Digimon comes out when Lordknightmon attacks. Then it gains another set of 1000 DP. So effectively, with these 2 cards, you gain 3000 DP off the first attack if you have nothing else on the field and you have at least 1 other tamer. So that just adds to the power of Lordknightmon. So that is the basic premise of this deck. Just swarm and get Lordknightmon out as quickly as possible. The main weakness of this deck is not getting Lordknightmon. So that's why we have the speed adders like Gladamon and Coatmon in the deck, just to try to help add and keep the consistency of getting Lordknightmon to your hand. Still going to play test this a little bit more. I would like to get 1 more copy of Lucamon, mostly because he's going to have more support coming out later, and I like the recovery aspect of him, and he does play well with Lordknightmon. But it's a little bit expensive right now. I'm going to wait it out. Maybe someone else might get a copy of it, and I might be able to trade for it and, just save a little bit on my pockets. But yeah, that's the main premise of this deck. If you have any suggestions, any ideas, things I could do better, let me know. Leave them in the comments. And thanks for watching. And I will catch you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.